Bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte después. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte después. Quiero tenerte muy cerca, mirarte en tus ojos, verte junto a mí. Piensa que tal vez mañana yo estaré ya lejos, muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte después. Mirarte en tus ojos, verte junto a mí. Piensa que tal vez mañana yo estaré ya lejos, muy lejos de ti. Bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho, que tengo miedo perderte después. Que tengo miedo perderte después. Que tengo miedo perderte
I wasn't sure how that was going to end.
My guest today, the lovely Nancy Sanchez.
Hi, Cathy.
Hi. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. I was telling you earlier, I think I manifested this because I've been watching this live since the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh my.
And that, what is it, 2 years now that we've been in it?
Yeah.
So
wow.
So it's I mean, I've seen you when I saw you when you had your guests in the iPad.
Wow, you really were there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
but yeah, happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here too. I'm just doing my last minute stuff. Nancy was a student of mine years ago, and I don't even remember. Was it at school or was it here?
No, I think it was privately. It was I was going to your house, and I was recommended to take lessons from you, and I can't remember if it was by Kate Reed or Jamie Shue, because I was taking vocal stylings classes with both Jamie and with Kate.
Yeah.
So I remember saying, I want to study with someone in LA. And they gave me your number, and yeah, that's how we met.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time. I mean, this recording that you just played,
Yeah.
and I wanted you to start off with that one because that was a recording that I did in 2010. And that was the very first professional recording that I ever did. And I was in my early 20s. I was so excited. I had an amazing band.
Yeah, it sounded great.
That was Matt Politano on piano. I had Evan Stone on drums. I had Jeff Littleton, I believe, on bass.
Cool.
And I had, do you know Phil Parlapiano?
Say that again?
Phil Parlapiano.
No, I don't think so.
He's an accordion player here. I don't think he does a lot of jazz. He's like very eclectic and he does all kinds of stuff, but he was on that recording. So yeah, that was my first recording. That album, actually. the one with the yellow hat. And that picture was taken by Terrence Love.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, right. I remember there was a whole relationship there with Terrence Love. Yeah. Of Steamers. Yeah. So many lifetimes, right?
Yes. It feels like a whole lifetime ago, but beautiful memories. And it really, I feel like that particular album really helped me grow as a musician, and just it forced me to be on stage, and it forced me to develop my performing chops. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And as I remember, Terrence was a big supporter of yours, right?
Super awesome. I love Terrence. Yeah. He definitely supported my early jazz exploration endeavors. And he was just like an all around artist. Like he would promote his artists, he would take pictures of his artists, he would really push all the people that used to play at Steamers.
Yeah. Yep. He was super active.
Yeah.
Super wonderful. Let's see. I have this new little thing that I'm doing, and it's going to develop. So you're the actual first person to be involved in this. So I have created 5 stickers with sayings on them, and this is for the Noontime hang, and I'm going to sell them and give some of the proceeds to charity, and just it's kind of for people to feel like they're contributing to the whole, the whole movement, whatever they want to call it, and so this is one of the sayings, and this is art is the tie that unites the planet. So I'm guessing I'm going to try to have this as a theme today. We don't have to, we can talk about it whenever we want to. Maybe it'll come back in our minds, in a half hour or whatever. Art is the tie that unites the planet, which I truly believe.
I love it. I believe that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so new that I don't even know what to do with it,
We'll figure it out. We have 2 hours.
So, well, first, when I was reading through your resume and stuff, and just looking at your site, looking at your pictures. I think I'll show your site because your site is really, it's just colorful and, oh, that's my stepdaughter and my son-in-law. Let's see, your site is, oops, Nancy Sanchez Music. And I mean, your site is just great to look at, I think.
Thank you very much. And I have to say something about my website.
Yes.
I usually get somebody like at the top of the year to just update my website, and it usually takes a while and it costs, I mean, it's a little expensive sometimes.
Yeah.
But this year I made it my goal to learn how to use Squarespace and do my own updates.
Oh.
So a lot of the pictures that are on this version of the website, I put on there myself, which I was very, very proud of myself for, because when it comes to, like just that kind of like art technology, it's just a little intimidating, but we can do it. Squarespace is not that hard. So I figured it out. I got a little help, of course, but I did figure it out. And I did update a lot of the gallery pictures, the press links, and the TV and film links as well.
Yeah, well, I'm writing down that you do that because I also do use Squarespace, but I have a web person, and I do a little bit. I update the events and the workshops, but I'd like to actually know what I'm doing to maybe make a few changes too. And it's a little vague. So you might get a call from me,
Okay, well, I also update my events through Reverb Nation. Do you use Reverb Nation?
I haven't used Reverb Nation in a super long time.
I mean, I've had my Reverb Nation account for a while now, and it's linked to my website. So whenever I have a new gig, I post it on Reverb Nation, and it just appears on my website too. So it's on both places.
Wow, that's nice. That's very nice. So, now you have, I think one of the things that I got excited about, well, here's all your CDs. Great covers, by the way.
Thank you. I'm missing one. There's one that's missing that I have not put up, and that's my my Say Something EP that I released like the fall of 2020. Because I released La Gran Civilización, that's the latest one.
Yeah.
And I released that one literally like 2 or 3 months after we shut down in 2020. And then for like a week, I wrote an entire EP, and I decided to record and put it out. Since we had so much time on our hands, why not?
Yeah. I love the pictures that you take too, or that you're choosing. They're really cool pictures. Very dramatic and beautiful. And I keep thinking, that's great. I keep thinking that you should be in TV and movies, and I guess you have been.
I have done one commercial, and I was a part of a Starz original series called Vida. And I had quite a few songs placed on that series. The first season had 2 of my songs. And then the third and final season that they had, the director, Tanya Saracho, loves my music so much that she invited me to be on the last episode of the final season.
Wow.
And that was incredible. I think I had I called Francisco Torres for that one.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It was really amazing. We were it was like a bar scene, and we were the band that was performing that night at the bar. And we just shot all day, and we got to see how actors work on a TV stage. I had never done that before.
Yeah.
And it was really a lot of fun. I got my hair done. There was a wardrobe person. I didn't have to worry about anything. And the whole season, leading up to the final episode of that season, the actors kept saying, well, who are we going to have for the opening night or the closing night, like in the show? And they kept saying, oh, we should have Nancy Sanchez. And so my name is whispered around throughout the third season. So it was just really, really amazing to not only just be a part of a show, but be a part of a show that was so cutting edge like that. Vida was mainly a female-driven, LGBTQ-driven cast, and like directors, and the story was a story based in East Los Angeles, which, by the way, I'm coming to you live from East LA. And the story is about two sisters, and I have a sister, who just grow up in a Mexican American family, and they have to deal with gentrification. I had to practice that word because I knew I was going to be on this show. Gentrification. And they're just trying to find their way as young Latinx sisters, and one of them is in the LGBTQ world, and there was a lot of just like conversations like that, very real conversations, and it's streaming on Stars Network, and everybody can check it out.
Wow. Yeah, I want to check it out. Vida. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. That's really cool, and it's so seems so great that it's dealing with, what obviously issues are in reality.
And it's the first show that I know of that talked about gentrification, because now there's a Netflix show that I'm really trying to be a part of, but it's called Gentrified, and it's all about gentrification, and it's about a family, and it also talks about that. But I think Vida was the first show that really hit on that topic like that strong, and it was an all Latinx cast also.
So when you say gentrification, are you speaking of kind of changing and blending the Latin culture into a mono culture kind of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can't get too political because I don't know a lot, but yes, that is what it means. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because also the gay thing too is part of that show. So that's, another deep subject as well. And especially add that together with Latins, now you've really kind of, that's a big chunk.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it was amazing being a part of it. And just like the aesthetic of the whole show is also beautiful. Like it's so colorful. They show a lot of the Boyle Heights, East LA, like I guess famous areas of the community. Like my favorite area is Mariachi Plaza, of course, and they have a lot of scenes there. So it was really cool.
That's
to be a part of that.
Boyle Heights, in another life, I would have moved into Boyle Heights. I don't know, your life takes you in various directions and stuff, but Boyle Heights kind of reminds me of Boston, where I'm from. It's earthy and interesting. It's not gentrified, it's like kind of the real thing. And not to mention, actually, Boyle Heights has a history of Jews in it.
Yes, it does, which I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a Boyle Heights story. See, I grew up in Orange County, as
Okay.
you know. I
Yeah.
was born in Mexico, in Toluca, Mexico. I was brought to the US when I was 3.5 years old. And I grew up between Anaheim and Fullerton. So we kept going back and forth, Anaheim and Fullerton. So I graduated from Sunny Hills High School in Fullerton. But I always wanted to live in LA because we're so close together. And one of the best memories that I have of LA is waking up on a Saturday morning and my dad taking my sister and I down to Los Callejones in downtown LA. Have you been to Los Callejones?
I don't know. What is it?
It's in the fashion district. There's like little streets where they sell. It's like a
Oh, it's the fashion. It's
yeah,
like
it's
it's called something else too. What did you?
Santi Alley. It's
Oh,
Santi
yeah,
Alley.
yeah. God, I haven't been there in so long.
That was my favorite thing to do on a weekend. And so
Yeah.
I loved LA. So I always knew that I was going to move to LA, and I wanted to live in either Boyle Heights or East LA because I really romanticized East LA and Boyle Heights. There's so many history. There's so much history here, like Mexican American history, that I really wanted to be a part of that. But speaking of Boyle Heights, I moved to Boyle Heights and I did not last in Boyle Heights because there was no parking. And as you know, if you live in LA, you have to have parking. I mean this so much that I'm gonna do this. You have to have parking. And I did not have parking, and I would come home from gigs pretty late, and it's not the, even though I love the neighborhood, at times it's not the safest, and where I was, it really was not super safe. So I didn't last in Boyle Heights, but I love Boyle Heights. But now I live in East LA, which is I'm 10 minutes away from Boyle Heights.
Yeah, and East LA it's a lot more what's the word? It's just people living in their homes and apartments.
More families.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit more spread out too, I think.
Yeah, my first husband, Gus Garcia, I don't think you ever met him, did you?
No.
Yeah. So he grew up there, and his brothers and mother were there. Forget Montebello, actually. That's where they.
I'm right. I'm East LA, Montebello. I'm right at the corner.
Yeah. I spent some time there. Did I ever tell you? I must have told you. My husband's mother was Adelina Garcia, who was known as the Angel of Mexico. And she had a beautiful bolero singer. She started when she was like 14, and she was beautiful and, real, that kind of thing. And she went on the road with sorry, what's his first name? Shoot. His last name is Curiel. He's the composer. He's such a famous composer in Mexico that they actually made a day. Let's see. Shoot. Damn. Hold on. Sorry. Curiel, musician, Mexico. They made a day dedicated. Gonzalo. Actually, I kind of was just humming a song that he had written. It's called shit. Yeah, anyway, so
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? So that was my husband's dad, and his mother was Adelina Garcia. God, my mind's not working. And then she married a percussionist who was actually around and in Hollywood movies, Joseph Heredia. And their children included the great drummer Joey Heredia, who is in LA, and He's just an amazing, amazing drummer. Anyway, that's I just wanted to share that with you.
You know, I think you might have told me this a while ago, and I
Yeah.
think you showed me a picture. But are there any recordings of her?
Yes.
Okay.
You can I mean, YouTube, they're on
Okay.
YouTube, and yeah, they have a whole department of her recordings and PR, like in the university that's down by Malibu, up on the hill. What's that university? It's anyway, someone here will know what I'm talking about, because obviously I'm not remembering words today. But yeah, that's like one of the major universities, but it happens to be that part of the university is down there. Anyways, but she's really quite beautiful. Okay, now that we're talking about her, let me just see if I can find a
Yes.
picture of her. Adelina Garcia. Okay, let's see.
Adelina Garcia.
So here we go. So I'll just show you a little bit, and then we'll move on to the Nancy Sanchez show. But this is one picture of her. She wasn't that young here. She was probably, I don't know, in her 20, I don't know, maybe 20s and stuff. And then, and I have, you know, like, you know, that kind of stuff. I have
that sounds very mariachi influenced.
It does, doesn't it? But
yeah.
Let's see. How about Misterio?
Cuánto diera por saber tu sufrimiento y aliviar con mis caricias.
Anyway, that kind of stuff.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, let's see. I had some, well, here's one of her hot promo pictures, you know, when she was a little.
That looks like the 40s or something, 40s or 50s.
Yeah, something like that. I wish I could just quickly find this really gorgeous picture of her when she was really, I mean, there was, like this one.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I think that's the picture that I've seen. I think you have that picture in your office.
Yeah, I think I probably showed you that.
She was gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And Gus actually looked a lot like her. He had the same lips, and yeah, she was a lovely woman. She actually didn't really sing later on. She felt like, you know, it's all personal, isn't it? You know, she felt like she was too old, and she had kind of lost her voice and all that kind of stuff.
Did she sing here as well? Like, was she here in
I think
the US?
mostly she was traveling, you know, in South America. She traveled with Gonzalo for a while, which is how little Gus got born. But yeah, I can't remember her whole history. I can't remember. I'll have to dig it up and share it with you, though. It's interesting, you know.
Yeah, I would love to know more about her.
Yeah. So did I see another TV thing on here too? Like let's see, FX original and Nickelodeon.
Yes. So one of my songs, I believe it was Noches de Amor, was also placed on Mayans MC. Have you ever seen Mayans MC, Cathy?
No, I haven't.
It's a sweet story about a motorcycle gang in Los Angeles, and yeah, so that song was also in there. And what else? I did. Oh yeah, I did a Nickelodeon National Hispanic Heritage campaign with my song Puerta del Sol.
Oh.
And that was a commercial as well, and that was during obviously Hispanic Heritage Month. And I think they used my first recording of Puerta del Sol because I actually have that song twice, and I think I sent you a video of the mariachi version of that song. But I have a Puerta del Sol from my album American Novio, which means American boyfriend, and 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 then I re-recorded that song with a female mariachi group from New York.
Oh,
From
interesting.
New York. They're called Flor de Toloache. They're Grammy-winning Flor de Toloache. Flor de Toloache means flower, Toloache flower. I don't know how to say Toloache, but it's a flower that you use to make people fall in love with you. Have you ever taken that flower before?
That is so Mexican folklore, right? Right? Oh my
Totally.
God, I love that.
And you know what's funny, that I recorded that song with them, and not knowing their name, like the meaning of their name, but that flower is very prominent and it grows in Toluca, the state where I'm from.
Ah, interesting.
And El Dios Tolo, the god Tolo, is always depicted as a god that's kind of hunching over and kind of relaxed, because it was said that he loved to consume toloache. So he was always very chill, very relaxed.
That's funny. He was always a little high, man. God, these pictures are so great of you. I mean,
thank you.
Look at them. Look at that. Oh my God.
Okay, so that one with the purple dress,
wow,
by Ferris Sosa, I did at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, and I was invited to perform for the oh my God, the Dorothy Chandler's 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not the Dorothy Chandler, but it's like the music something.
Yeah.
There's another room. Anyway, and it was their quinceañera. So it was called Quinceañera Reimagined.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're 15 and you're
Mexican,
you get a quinceañera. So here I am dressed as a quinceañera. And they were so nice that they let me take pictures during the off hours at the Dorothy Chandler. I don't know how we got that. You know,
that's amazing.
I don't know. Put yourself out there.
These pictures are super fabulous. That's why I keep saying, have you studied acting at all? Because your looks are so dramatic.
No, and I've had, you know Mark Torres. Mark is my music manager. Mark has tried to get me to audition for commercials and stuff like that, and I've really tried my best, but I'm just not an actress. I think I would really need to study it. It's another animal. It's another art form that I have not really gotten into. I'm sure it would probably benefit my stage presence as well if I do acting, but
well, your pictures look like you are capable of it. I mean, these are poses that kind of bring out an attitude, right? That acting I would imagine brings out. These are so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That's what happens when I do braids on my hair and then just let it go wild.
I love that. And this kind of stuff is like amazing. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Look at
so
that.
That's the traje de gala.
Yeah.
That's, how do you say gala? Like it's like the suit that you go to a gala. That's the traje de gala in the mariachi.
Yeah.
And the mariachi that we know today is the urban mariachi that became popular in Mexico City. But this is what we know mariachi to be currently, that with that suit.
Oh, I see. That's really beautiful.
And then of course the red one, that's more of a spin-off that I did of mariachi. And actually those are pants. If you notice, women don't usually wear pants in mariachi groups.
Oh, uh-huh.
So,
And I love the ones with the guitar too. I mean, they're very strong. They're very powerful, these pictures.
thank you. That's
So,
actually a vihuela.
okay.
That's the small mariachi guitar. That it's a 5-string guitar.
And
And
it
it's
sounds higher.
yeah, it's very percussive. It's like the snare drum of the band.
Is this a real
And
guitar?
no, it's not.
Okay.
I wish it was a real guitar, but no.
So, but these are, yeah. Wow. Well, I think this is a good time to hear something. So,
Yeah.
let's see. I'm looking for my email where,
Do
so I
you
check
want
these
to
out.
go over, do you want to play Puerta del Sol mariachi? I think it's in that email. That's the song that I recorded with that female mariachi group, Flor de Toloache.
So, let's see. Is it here or is it on the other one?
Oh, it should be there. If not, it's on my website on the videos.
Looks like this is In Other Words, and the kids are still in cages.
Oh,
So on your website, it is, let's see, music.
I'm pretty sure I included that song in there in your email too, but I don't see it there.
So is there a video?
Yeah, there is. If you keep going down. Oh, it's the one with the city. That
Okay.
one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No encuentro el mar, lo encuentro la brisa, no sale el sol. Siempre voy deprisa y quiero imaginar que hay otra salida y quiero imaginar otra despedida. Mis palabras quieren dibujar un arco iris por la vida y por la sal. Mis palabras quieren dibujar un arco iris por la vida y por la sal. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Yo puedo ver tus labios partidos, yo puedo ver tu piel transparente, yo puedo ver tu risa en mi gente. Basta solo un día para saber la diferencia entre el azúcar y la miel. Basta solo un día para entender la diferencia entre el azúcar y la miel. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir. Puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir con solo el sol. Puerta del sol, puerta de hoy, esta puerta no se puede abrir.
Yay.
Really great.
Thank you.
So, was that the mariachi group from New York?
Yes, they're the girls that I went on tour with in 2018 and 2019. The vihuela player, Shay, she's white Cuban. See, the cool thing about Flor de Toloache is that they're so like multiracial in that group, which really, going back to what you said earlier in the show, music does transcend, borders, and it connects us all together.
Yeah.
So we have, they've had African American girls also play trumpet in the mariachi group. So it's been a lot of members that have come out of that group. But Shay, the vihuela player, was going to have a baby, and they were looking for a sub to go on tour with, and they could not find a sub, and someone recommended me. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Free.
That's
okay,
good luck.
Sorry.
Bless you. And so I ended up going subbing for their vihuela player, who is not an easy person to sub for, because not only is she an incredible vihuela player, but she's got this huge voice, and I really did my best. But so I ended up going to New York with them. We did shows there. We did shows, a couple shows in Martha's Vineyard, which I had never been.
It's beautiful there, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, and we did a mariachi workshop there as well.
Oh, cool.
And then I ended up going to Iceland with them.
Wow.
Never in my life did I imagine going to Iceland, but we went to the Reykjavik festival, and we performed. I believe we did a workshop, and Mexicans are everywhere, because there was a group of Mexicanos that came to see us with the Mexican flag in Iceland. that was so much fun. And so I got to tour with them for a little bit, and then Shay came back, and then, but while I was on tour with them, they said, we should play one of your originals, Nancy. And I said, perfect, Puerta del Sol, let's do that one. So they came up with their own arrangement of it.
Oh.
And Mireya Ramos, the violinist, she came up with that arrangement, and we recorded it, and we did this awesome video by Jose Guizar, did our video. And this video is very, very special, because it depicts the story of a working mom that is, trying to support her daughter, who stays home alone a lot because she doesn't have a babysitter or anybody to look after her. So she's really at home by herself a lot, and she turns on the television and she sees these strong Mexicanas playing mariachi music, and she gets so inspired, and she starts blooming. That's why all these flowers appear in her face and everywhere. She starts blooming, she gets inspired, and she wants to be a singer. And that was really my story. Like, I wanted to kind of tell a little bit of my background through this music video. And the mom, a very humble and hardworking housekeeper, which is what my mom was until we forced her to retire. She was a housekeeper all her life, and my sister and I were always by ourselves, and watching and TV, movies, and listening to mariachi music really is how I was inspired to be a musician. And of course, I have a very, very artistic and a free-spirited father who also helped.
Right. Does he play?
He's a singer, and he played guitar in his youth, and later became a mariachi player. My dad has a saying, he loves saying this, he always says, de joven rockero y de viejo mariachi, which means As a young person, a rocker, and as an older person, a mariachi player. So that's been his life. And he plays the guitarrón. He plays the guitarrón, the big
Yeah, the big one.
bass.
Yeah.
And he has his own mariachi group in Orange County. They're called Mariachi Tres Generaciones de Orange County, not to be confused with Tres Generaciones from Los Angeles. So I guess there's two. And
do they have any YouTube presence? Can we
no,
take a
they
peek?
don't.
Oh,
No,
too
they
bad.
don't. And he's pretty old school. I mean, he barely has a website. I have to get on him about that. And I actually have a very sweet project that I'm working on, and I want him to be involved in. So I'll be forcing him into the studio very soon.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, I think he was really the first person to motivate me and say, you know what, I think you can do it. I think you can be a musician. And he forced me to play guitar when I was 10. And I remember that didn't go very well. I don't know. Some people can learn from their parents. I did not do well with my dad teaching me guitar. I was the typical little girl that would cry and say, it hurts. My hands hurt. I don't want to do this. So.
Actually, I know exactly what you mean, because guitar was my first instrument back then. And then my mother said, I wanted to study violin, and my mother said I had the perfect lips for flute. So I took flute instead. And I was trying to remember who taught me flute. And I don't think my dad taught me flute. My dad was a sax player, a woodwind player, but I don't think he taught me. I think I had probably school teachers, you know. Yeah, but I still can play flute, and I even took a lesson from a wonderful flute player, Laurie Bell, during this pandemic time, but I didn't practice that much. I don't know why. I'm going to start taking piano lessons, so I
know.
Piano. Yeah,
I heard you say that in one of your podcasts.
Yeah,
lives.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous. I kind of want to take that class too.
You know, it's
I feel
cheap.
like I need to.
It's cheap, and it's from Fullerton College, actually, and it's on. I'm going online, and it's like Mondays and Wednesdays every week for, I think it's 10 weeks or something, but or maybe more. It's by Jeremy Siskind. It starts in later January, like the 24th.
Oh, maybe then. Maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, I can play, but I totally did not get basics on the piano, really. Just stuff I picked up, and I want my harmony ideas, and I mean, piano's just a great instrument, you know, to play. And also I just want my harmony ideas to expand. My writing will expand, I'm sure, and just be really fun to be better at piano.
Yeah, I feel like piano is the one instrument that I can play around with triads and, you know, a little bit of extensions, but because I'm not a master at piano, I feel like I can sit down and be more creative as a songwriter on the piano, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of exploring different sounds and coming up with different melodies.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, writing is so interesting, you know. Like yesterday, my guest was Stephanie Bruce, and she's really a big songwriter person, right? And she has courses on it and everything, and a book. I've taken some songwriting classes, and I've gotten some interesting moments. You know, it's kind of like everything. It's more, I find learning is more about the process. It's not kind of the end result, which reflects on a lot of life, right? A lot of different life things. It's not really the end result, it's the process. Like, I've talked about this too, but every time I read a self-help book, right? And like I'll do something, like say it'll tell you to make a, you know, like a to-do board and with priorities and all that stuff. And I'll do it. I'll get really interested. I'll do it. And literally the day after, I have totally like lost my mojo for it. And I don't really look at it again. I don't use it every day. So after doing that several times, I realized, it's actually about the process of learning about it and getting excited. And it's like anything, it feeds you the ideas, and then that soaks in and inspires you for
Mhm.
the rest of everything. And so I kind of feel like that too about songwriting. I feel like I like learning about ideas to use, to utilize, but in the end, if I want to add one bar on an 8-bar phrase and I have to have it because that's what the song calls for, I'm going to, but she said that too. Stephanie said that too. I
Yeah.
think her sounded like her teaching is more suggestive of just ideas and kind of
She was really like lyrical
gathering.
also, like
Yeah,
talking a lot about like lyric writing and a lot
yeah,
of not really formulas, but almost formulaic, which
yeah.
I don't have. I mean, I've been songwriting since as long as I can remember, and I've never taken a songwriting class. It would be really interesting. I mean, I've read songwriting books, but I've never really taken a songwriting class. But I try to stay away from too many formulas because I really find that songwriting is my one thing that I can do just very freely, and it's all about stream of consciousness, and I don't question myself sometimes. Maybe I should, but I don't when I songwrite. I think one thing that she said yesterday was repeating words. I mean, I can't stick to that rule because I will repeat a word till the end of time if I feel like it feels good and I'm trying to get my point across. So I'm sure that taking a songwriting class will give me ideas. But no.
I know that feeling about the words, and I've had people mention that, but not just in songwriting, in actual writing. I just wrote a book, a philosophy book, small, but and I had a few friends who were book writers look at it, and one actually talked about me repeating the same word, and I looked at that, and it wasn't so much the word, it was like you have the color red and you're describing red like this, and then you describe red like this, and then describe red like that. And so there's a fine line, I think, how many times can you re-describe it? It's okay to expand on it, but to
Mhm.
re-describe it might, cross the line of too many times, but I
Right.
think each situation is unique, right?
Yes, it is. I mean, like the last song we just heard, Puerta del Sol. I say Puerta del Sol over and over because I really want to get my point across.
Yeah. What
The
is the
idea of
door of sun
the
of
door of the
sunlight?
sun, the door of the sun. And I'm basically saying, esta puerta no se puede abrir. Like the sun is not the only thing that can open this door. Like it really is a metaphor to the doors that we have in our life that we have to just kick through. Like no one's gonna come and open the door for you. You have to kick the door through. So
See, I love that. I
thank
love
you.
it. It's beautiful. How much um okay, so probably because I was married to Mexican American man for a long time, and got into his family and a bit of the culture. Hi,
Mhm.
Priscilla. You'll hear more if you stay on because I'm going to play her more. Um, so I know it's kind of similar to. Let's see. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts. I mean, I also had a black boyfriend for several years, and I got into that culture too. And I just noticed, even though we were all Americans, we definitely had we were from different tribes, you know, and there are things about each culture that it just is. It's not, has nothing to do with prejudice or anything like that. It just is. That's what we are. We're all these different seeds of different
Mhm.
trees, you know. But I'm curious, the one thing that I really love about the Mexican culture, and it might be South American, but specifically Mexican because that's what I knew about, was that like for example, in Sabor a Me, the song, right? When I understood the lyrics of that song, I just about died because, you know,
Why?
because first of all, the taste of me. Come on, no English started lyric starts like that, nothing. And then, like, you will, no matter, even if you die, you will all, or you die, I think that's, you will always remember the taste of me in your mouth. Come on.
Pretty dramatic. I love it.
Yeah, it's so deep on a different level. So I feel like the Mexican language and culture really brings that in, has lived there, brings it in. And I'm not saying this with kind of a wide-eyed doe-like vision, you know, like I remember when I first went to Japan, I was so blown away by the culture. I just thought everybody was the nicest thing, you know, in the world. I didn't realize that it was the cultural behavior, right? Yeah, there's, of course there's nice people, but we're all humans, you know. But so I'm not saying that all the Mexican speech, the Spanish speech, and the culture of Mexico is all this spiritual, deeply spiritual, and you know, exquisite thing, 100%. But there is, I think, there is that quality of livingness and beingness that Mexico has, and the Spanish language. So I'm curious if this is even something that's true. How have you, do you notice that in yourself and in your creations? I mean, that's a short question for all that long description of my question.
Do I notice the Mexicanidad in my writing?
What word is that?
The like the Mexicanidad, like the Mexican identity in my writing.
Is that what I'm describing, the Mexican
I feel like
identity?
that's what you're describing. I feel I feel like that comes out in my writing naturally.
Yeah.
But more and more, I'm consciously trying to write about my Mexican American experience. I mean, and I feel like the first taste of that was through my album American Novio, which had all kinds of love, broken love, gut-wrenching love, all kinds of like more like Mexican imagery. And I feel like that's just, it's part of the culture. It's part of, I feel like Mexico is such a rich culture, rich in music, rich in food, and it's been influenced by so many things. It's an indigenous pueblo. It's an indigenous country that was basically influenced by Europe, by Spain. So all these Spanish ideas came into this already beautiful, rich, complicated indigenous cultures that we already had. So that is what you're experiencing, and what you hear is like this mestizaje. Being mestizo means being combined, being of indigenous origins and other in Mexico. And I feel like that rich history that Mexico has, I mean, it's so alive, and you see it in the color. I mean, I have my whole house decorated with that's an American flag with a sarape on top of it. So it's like this this whole Mexicanidad that we have. And I have to share a couple books with you. I'm currently reading The Madonnas of Echo Park that I have to share with you. It's the experience of Mexican Americans in Echo Park in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. I have a PDF.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're writing it down.
Yeah, I am.
Sorry. And also, this is what this trilogy was given to me. It's a trilogy. It's called the writer is Juan Rulfo.
Yeah.
And I went to Guadalajara in mid 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. I was going stir crazy in my house, and I was like, that's it. I'm buying a plane ticket and I'm going to Guadalajara. I'm not from Guadalajara. I have a retired writer friend and his wife that ended up going to retire in Guadalajara, and they're American. They're not Mexican at all. And they just fell in love with Guadalajara, with a little town called Ajijic in Jalisco. And it's a retirement community. And before he left, he said, Nancy, whenever you want, just hit me up if you want to come. And I said, hey, Patrick, remember when you said I can come? Well, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks, so make room. And so I ended up just masking up in the middle of 2020, and I just went to Guadalajara. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Guadalajara, other than I had never been there and I'm not from there, is because that Jalisco is the birthplace of mariachi music. Oh. And I met a lot of people. I met a lot of mariachi players and a lot of songwriters there. And I met my friend Lucas, who before I left said, you cannot call yourself Mexican if you have not read Juan Rulfo books, okay? Because he talks about Mexican surrealism. Wow. And you have to get into it. So I said, okay, and then he bought me.
It's right up my alley. Cool.
So I'll send you these too. I don't have these in PDFs, but I'll send you the names of them. Okay. I'm sure they have them in English too. But yeah, it's this Mexican mysticism, Mexican surrealism that I love. And you see it in everything. You see it in Diego Rivera murals. You see it in my idol's paintings, Frida Kahlo. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's probably part of why I married my husband, Gus, because he was definitely from that state of mind. And I've always been extremely spiritually inclined, from when I was a kid. And so anyway, that I'd really be interested in that. It resonates with me. It's just I think all ethnic groups and, all ethnic groups across the planet, art is the tie that unites the planet. My new one of my new stickers that I will soon be selling on my website, just for fun and for contribution and for contributing and acknowledging that all these people, these great people that I'm interviewing. Awesome. Yeah. So, but what I've noticed in that's why I love traveling. I don't know how anyone cannot want to travel to different cultures, because what you see, I guess it's what's attracted to you, but what you see is really wonderful, especially with the artists of all kinds, the musical artists and the material artists. It's so beautiful to see the real authentic original like you're speaking of. I'm sure it must have been extremely thrilling for you to be there.
It was amazing. And I ended up connecting with quite a few people there. But the friend that I got the books from, Lucas, when I came back, we ended up writing a song through Zoom. Oh. A song through Zoom. I can say that. A song through Zoom. And it's called Sensontle. And we just ended up collaborating. But before I talk more about Guadalajara, because I have lots more to talk about Guadalajara, going back to this Mexican surrealism, we have to play La Maldita Bruja. I think I sent you that video. That it's all about that.
Okay, I'm
La
gonna.
maldita, La maldita bruja translates to the damn witch, but if you Instagram translate, it's the effing witch. I don't know why, but that's not what I meant to say.
Oh.
And this song is, I grew up in mariachi, in the mariachi world, but also a little bit of in the jazz world as well. But in mariachi, we have beautiful songs about mystical women, and there's two songs that I love. One called La Llorona.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who La Llorona is, Cathy?
I don't think so. It's not. No, I don't think so.
La Llorona, and you know what? Oh, there's so many beautiful covers of La Llorona. It would be cool to hear one of your covers, you covering La Llorona. But anyway, La Llorona is a crying woman. It's the crying woman who her soul is just wandering the earth, crying for her children because she murdered her children. It's pretty spooky. And there's a song about La Llorona, about that woman. And then
Wow.
there's another song called La Bruja, and it's just about a witch.
Which?
But but I wanted to have a song like in that kind of world, in that space, all to myself. And so I decided to write a song about a witch. And I actually wrote the song when I was 18 years old. And I was really mad at my mother. I don't know what she did to me or what she said to me, but I was really angry. And I got all that anger and I wrote this song. It's called The Damn Witch. And I put it away and I didn't perform it. And I have so many songs in my computer that I've just put away. One of my goals is to bring new songs, all these songs back to life. But this is one of the songs that just lived in my hard drive all these years. And then I decided in mid-pandemic again to record the song, but I wanted to give it a different spin. I was doing it as a corrido, which is like a 2/4 feel, and it's like a tunta 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 tunta. But I decided to slow it down, and I got my friend Andy Abad. Do you know Andy Abad, guitar player?
Sounds familiar.
Well, Cathy, he's J-Lo's guitar player.
Oh. Wow.
But you know
That's
what?
cool.
He teaches at USC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
At
His name
USC,
sounds
and
familiar.
yeah. And so he came over, and he recorded the guitar track for this song, and then I just laid my voice down, and that's all it is, just guitar and voice for La
Now,
Maldita
is this
Bruja.
the song that I'm looking for?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I
don't-
sent it to you.
I didn't see it in these two emails that I have.
That is so weird. Can I send you this email that I sent you that has all the videos? I don't know
Yeah.
why you can't see this one. Let me forward this again to you.
Yes.
Okay, sent.
Okay. Let me see.
It's number 5 in that email.
Let's see. Come on, come on, come on. You know, when you're waiting for it, it doesn't come. Ah, there it is. Okay. So, you know what? You didn't include anything.
What? What's happening?
Let's see. I have your.
But you can go to my
Oh, wait a
YouTube
minute.
channel.
No, this. I have. Oh, I'll go to your YouTube.
Yeah, go to my YouTube channel. I think that's easier.
We had a little trouble with this before, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. I can hear
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here, let me start it again.
don't know if you're sharing the video.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Thank you for saying that. Hold on there. Stop. Don't. I don't know what I'm
You're
doing.
doing great, Cathy.
Thank you for saying that. Not all the time, though. Okay, so I'm back here and I'm playing.
La bruja se duerme abajo de la esquina cuando yo estoy sola. Cierro la cortina porque su mirada y su forma de ser no me dejan dormir en la noche. Dicen que se come a los niños chiquitos, también a los viejos que aflojan poquito. Se come a los grandes, se come a los chicos, se come a los más delgaditos. Y yo que pensé que me iba a ser sincera, y yo que pensé que la maldita bruja por fin iba a cambiar. Ella se despierta en medio de la misa a pedir limosna a los que van deprisa. Se compra sus paletas de limón y se llena su rebozo de tinte. Presiente que nadie la ha visto. Presiente que va despacito. Le roba al más pobre, le roba al más rico, le roba también al viejito. Y yo que pensé que me iba a ser sincera, y yo que pensé que la maldita bruja por fin iba a cambiar.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know all the lyrics.
I have to send you the lyrics. But this video was produced by Marisela Lascano, and it was shot by Rudy Ruiz, and they're an awesome duo power team. And we actually decided to go to Joshua Tree for a day, and we shot the whole video in Joshua Tree in one day. And I really wanted it for Dia de los Muertos, which is, I believe, November 2nd. And of course, everybody knows the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. But I wanted to give the witch a different spin. So I did two witches. I did one witch that actually represents the witch inside all of us, but it's my pandemic witch, my plague doctor witch. And then we have the other witch that meets her at the end next to the altar. And she's the curandera witch. The curandera is the healer witch. And I wanted to do an altar for Dia de los Muertos, and the altar is the altar that everybody puts up for Dia de los Muertos, where you put all your pictures of your past loved ones who are no longer here, who are living in another universe, but we remember them on that day. We put their pictures up, and then we put different kinds of things to remember them, like if your abuelito like to drink, you put a bottle of tequila right there. If you put pan dulce, all sorts of things. You put fruit as offerings to the loved ones that are no longer here. And what is really cool about that video is that we shot the first scene. We wanted to get all the sunset shots first, so we went to a dried salt lake, and that's where we were. Wow. I was walking on this awesome salt lake. I had never walked on a salt lake before. It was very crispy, and it was beautiful. I mean, the sunset was just amazing. And then we ended up driving an hour back to the house where we set up camp, and we set up the altar literally in the like the back of Mark Torres's sister. She has a house in Joshua Tree, and she let us build this beautiful altar in her backyard. But of course, her backyard is the desert, so we were shooting all through the night there.
Wow. Incredible, great video.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Yeah, the video is really beautiful, and the song is really beautiful. So
thank you.
The song, what does the song basically talk about? Does it talk about what you were talking about? The two witches?
Yes, I almost want to read down the lyrics. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh yeah, I have it here. I just want to translate it. So I start with La bruja se duerme abajo de la esquina. The witch is sleeping next to me. Remember why I wrote it. And when I'm alone, I close the window because I feel like her stare is looking at me, and it doesn't let me sleep at night. And then it says, dicen que se come a los niños chiquitos, también a los viejos que aflojan poquito. They say that she eats little kids, but she eats old men too. It's more poetic in Spanish. Se come a los grandes, se come a los chicos, se come a los más delgaditos. She eats tall ones, short ones, and really skinny ones. And the chorus is, y yo que pensé que me iba a ser sincera, y yo que pensé que la maldita bruja por fin iba a cambiar. I'm basically saying, and here I am thinking that she was going to be sincere to me. Here I am thinking that the damn witch was going to finally change. And then it says, ella se despierta. This is more of the mysticism here that we have. Ella se despierta en medio de la misa a pedir limosna a los que van deprisa. She wakes up in the middle of mass, because of course the Mexican culture is all like this with the religion. She wakes up in the middle of mass to ask for not forgiveness. She's asking for money. limosna. She wants money from people. And then when she gets money, se compra sus paletas de limón y se llena su rebozo de tinte. When she has money, what does she do? Well, she goes to buy her favorite lollipop, her favorite paleta de limón. Have you ever had a cold lemon pop? That's what she likes. And then she's eating it, but as she's eating it, the ice cream or the paleta is, the green of the lemon is falling onto her rebozo. That's that part. And then this is the last part. She says, presiente, presiente que nadie la ha visto, presiente, presiente que va despacito. She feels like nobody is watching her, and she feels like she's walking very slowly. Le roba al más pobre, le roba al más rico, y le roba también al cieguito. Unfortunately, our witch, she steals. And she steals from the very poor, from the very rich, and she also steals from the blind. And then the chorus again. Here I am thinking that she was going to be sincere, and here I am thinking that the damn witch was finally going to change. But she doesn't.
Wow. Interesting story. Cool. I noticed you had some songs like there was one, They're Still in Cages, or
yes. I have yeah. I have an EP that I put out towards the end of 2020 that I wrote. I wrote 3 songs in 1 week, and that week was the craziest week of everybody's lives. Remember when we didn't know what COVID was, but and we were terrified. And during that week, there was also a lot of things happening. There was still family separations at the border. So that was really, really scary. And I'm really passionate about that. So I was really reading up and listening to Al Jazeera and Democracy Now! And I was like up to here with just news and everything that was going on. So, and also during that week, we had the murder of George Floyd. So it was all these things at once that happened.
Yeah.
And as soon as the murder of George Floyd happened, that very same week, I mean, people were so outraged. Everybody was in the streets again, even if we didn't have vaccination yet, but everybody was in the streets protesting. So I was just really inspired that week, and I started writing a song talking about my own immigration story. I said it earlier, but I was born in Toluca, Mexico, but my parents made the decision, like many parents do, to migrate to this country for a better life. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not the point. The point is that that's what happens. And I was an immigrant child, like many of these immigrant children who are coming to this country seeking asylum and seeking better opportunities were. So I was just I was reading and seeing all the similarities of their life and my own immigration story. So I started writing the story of my immigration experience, but I tied in the fact that in this country we had children in cages. And it's really funny. When I wrote this song, I performed it. I've only performed it live like 3 or 4 times, and I just went up north and I performed The Kids Are Still in Cages up north. And this guy right after my sets went up to me and said, as soon as you started singing that song, I got really uncomfortable. It was awesome. And I was like, well, good. That was uncomfortable. I made you feel something.
Yeah.
Great. So I wrote The Kids Are Still in Cages. And then a day later, I wrote a song called Hasta que todos estemos a salvo, which translates to Until We Are All Safe. And then I wrote a song called Say Something. And so I had these songs on my iPhone, because that's usually what I do. I write and then I just record them on my iPhone, as you do too. Now I know that because you sent me one of your songs. And I did what you did to me the other day. I sent these songs to my friend Beto Hale, I connected with Beto the previous year when we were still pre-pandemic. I went to the Latin Grammys, and I met Beto there with Mark Torres, and he invited us to his studio. He has a studio called Los Olivos in LA. And Beto is Beto's a Berkeley grad as well. I think he is Mexican Jewish is what I think he is. But he has this pop sensibility, and I really wanted to work with him. So I said, you know what, this is a great opportunity to work with Beto on this project with these 3 songs. So I called him, I sent him my iPhone recordings, and he loved them. And he slowly started building the songs, building the songs up. And for the kids are still in cages, I wanted to keep it chunky piano, because that's what I play. If anyone asks what kind of piano do you play, I say chunky piano. So I wanted to keep it chunky piano. And so we kept it kind of like chunky piano ballad. And then for Hasta que todos estemos a salvo, I wanted it to be a cumbia. And since Beto is from Mexico City, he really understands the Mexico City cumbia sound. It's not like the Colombian cumbia. It's more gritty ghetto cumbia that I love so much. And so he turned it into a cumbia. And for Say Something, we just kept it light, and at this moment, I think we did guitars. I could be wrong, but and then when we finished the songs, we were in 2020, so I had the best idea. I said I wanted to do a photo shoot with a mask, like a white mask, and write the title tracks of the songs on my face, on the mask. So each single has me with the mask and the title of the song on my mask, and and that's what I call my pandemic protest EP.
So wait, so and by the way, do you ever write in English?
I do right now. You know, ever since I wrote American Novio, I've been writing a lot in Spanish. And I get called for translations and stuff in Spanish, and I think it comes more naturally to me. But my whole second album, Ruby in LA, was 95% in English. So yes, I do write in English.
Okay, just curious. By the way, Jamie Shu says she loves you.
Jamie, you know, Jamie is the reason why I got into jazz. I was a confused 18-year-old. I decided to take a vocal stylings class at Fullerton College. I walk in and she puts on, I think there's still a video, I don't know what year it was. She put on How High the Moon with Ella Fitzgerald, and then Ella started doing her thing, and I was like, what the hell is that? I want to do that. I think I want to get into that. And of course I didn't grow up listening to jazz, you know, so yeah. It was like mind was blown. So hi Jamie, love you.
So again, I don't know why I have lost some of your stuff, because here we are. The kids are still in cages. Okay. All right, I got it.
I hope this is a mature audience. I do have one bad word in the song, but it's okay. It's not that bad.
Okay.
I was told, go back where I came from, back where I belong. But I don't know where I belong. I was brought here in my mother's arms, just a little girl searching for the stars. Circumstances forced my parents to leave. We crossed the line in 1989. It's never easy to leave your life behind. A whole new culture, a brand new way of life, without knowing the language, without even a dime. The only frame of mind is to keep that dream alive. It's not easy to survive. You were once in their shoes. With every car you buy and the I got mine, so fuck you mentality, you lose your humanity. How can you live with yourself? How can you live with Let's not forget about the ones who weren't so lucky. They traveled far in search of their American dream, only to find a world so cruel and empty. While the city burns and the world rages, the kids are still in cages. 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 Do, 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 do. What about them? What about them? The kids in cages are waiting for a friend. What about them? What about them? The kids in cages are waiting to be saved. What about them? What about them?
Hmm. Cool. Yeah. Wow. Cool statement. Yeah.
Thank you. That video was by Ben Chua. He is an awesome videographer, and actually he does all the videos for the USC marching band.
Hmm. Interesting.
Interesting. But yes, that was The Kids Are Still in Cages, and we recorded that at KPFK. You've been to KPFK station, right?
Yes, I have. You and
I
Mark
interviewed
Torres.
you.
Yep. Ta-da. Yeah, it's true.
Cathy, full circle here. I interviewed you. pre-pandemic. Uh, and we were at the Studio A, I think, and we used the piano there, and that's we recorded the whole video there. Oh, and it was, of course, during 2020, so things were pretty closed, and we
Yeah.
got lucky that they opened that room for us.
Yeah.
For that day.
Yeah, that was
to-
really
to
nice.
film.
My
Yeah.
friend Roland Ascaruns is asking, is that song on one of your CDs?
Yes, it is. It's on my EP called Say Something.
There you go, Roland. He's going to go
And
buy it right now.
Oh my God, how nice. Thank you. And I have music on Spotify and iTunes. You guys can look me up, Nancy Sanchez Music. And if you want a physical CD, they are on my Bandcamp. So you can go-
Bandcamp. I love Bandcamp.
Try to buy it on a Friday. If you buy it on a Friday, they don't take any percentage, and that money goes to the artist.
Is it every Friday? I didn't realize that.
I feel like they've been doing it every Friday. I don't know, maybe it's not, but I always get notifications by them.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Bandcamp. I just have to, gosh, I have to put all of my CDs on Bandcamp, which is time consuming. So I do like 1 or 2 CDs at a time because it's, it's just a time consuming process.
Yes, it is. Well, but Roland, that's a good one to get. You'll like that one. And that one is a really special EP because I wanted to collaborate with a nonprofit before putting it out. So I was looking through different nonprofits because, again, we were stuck at home. I wanted to help out with the family separation at the border. So I looked up a couple nonprofits, and the one that I found is called Al Otro Lado, on the other side. And it was really hard to get in touch with them, actually. So I ended up getting in touch with a nonprofit here in LA that's the sister nonprofit because of Al Otro Lado, because Al Otro Lado is based in Tijuana and San Diego. And so the nonprofit here is called Rise to Reunite. So they do a lot of their fundraising for Al Otro Lado. And so I ended up connecting with these wonderful ladies who are doing amazing work. And they helped me do a fundraiser for Al Otro Lado. So we ended up doing a December 2020 fundraiser called Artists to Reunite Families. And Al Otro Lado is a nonprofit that helps with humanitarian aid, the separation of families. They help asylum seekers with documentation and all sorts of things. And they, throughout the pandemic, they were shut down for a little bit. I mean, they couldn't really do much at the border, but they were still very much present. Like they weren't accepting any physical volunteers, is what I'm trying to say, which is what I wanted to do. But they didn't let me because we're in a pandemic.
Really?
And and so I said, okay, well, what if I do a concert? And I just started texting my musician friends to see who would be down to do it. And I ended up with the help of my awesome manager, Mark, who also knows half the music, the Latin music scene, or the alternative music Latin scene. I got a lot of people like Ozo Motley. You know Ozo Motley?
No.
They're a band from Los Angeles. They're pretty well known here. We got Chicano Batman. We got Flor de Toloache that you just heard. We got Jessica Medina, a band called Making Movies. A lot of musicians, even from Guadalajara, ended up sending us their live video, and we did an online fundraiser for Al Otro Lado. I feel like we should have raised a lot more money, but I feel like it was my first time fundraising ever, so it was okay. And then something happened that you can understand because you do Facebook Lives. We did 2 hours. We had 2 hours worth of music that people had sent us. After the first hour, Facebook just went off. and we had hundreds of people watching. I screamed. I've never screamed this loud in my life. So we had to, kind of start it all over again. And we did the second hour separately. So my fundraiser is on my
Oh
YouTube,
my
but it's like
God.
in sections
Wow.
because Facebook like killed us off. But it was really meaningful because I realized that there's a lot of artists out there, especially a lot of Latinx artists that really wanted to help, and we didn't know how, and we were kind of kept in the dark with this whole family separation situation, but we just came together. Music brings people together, like you're saying, and
Art is the tie that unites the planet.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And we were able to to do the fundraiser and to help Al Otro Lado, and I hope I can do it again for them because I think they're back in person. So
Wow. Well, that's very impressive. I know a little bit about how much effort that is. But that's a really big effort that you put forth. You and Mark, I want to acknowledge
yeah,
you too, because I know
yeah,
you're a mover and shaker as well. So that's incredible.
thank you. It was healing,
Yeah,
and it was
very.
healing for all of us.
Yeah. Um, thank you, Mark. Mark just posted your Bandcamp site.
Good.
However,
Good job.
not before Roland bought that song and La Grande Civilisation, however you pronounce it.
La gran civilización.
Civilisation.
There you go.
Did I tell you I was taking Spanish lessons too? But that kind of, you have to have somebody to speak. I know I could call up a
Yeah.
million friends and talk, but it's somehow, I don't know. It's I need
No, you have to keep like conversing with people.
yeah, you really do.
You can only learn it so much in theory. Like you have to actually speak
Yeah.
with people.
I like Rosetta Stone, but they say they have classes and I don't see the classes. Maybe I've missed that or something, but anyway, I could learn something and then just call up somebody, and
You can call me.
yeah, I have my friend.
Hey, we still have to do your song in
Yeah,
Spanish.
that's right. I asked Nancy to write some lyrics to this song that I wrote that I can never write lyrics for. I mean, I've written boring lyrics, what I consider boring lyrics. I just can't quite come up with something, but Nancy wrote some Spanish lyrics, so I can only imagine that they're gorgeous because I can't totally understand them.
We have to have a session for the lyrics where we just speak the lyrics and understand the lyrics.
Yeah. That's cool. Yes. Cute comments. Roland says, I'm so glad to get to know a little bit of you, Nancy Sanchez.
Oh,
And
thank
Andrew
you.
Schermerhorn said, well, yes, she is beautiful.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
She is inside and out. She's a very, very beautiful woman. Yeah, and you and Mark Torres, how did you got so Mark Torres
Mhm.
is what is his title at it's KR what is it?
KPFK.
KPFK.
He is the director of the Pacifica Radio Archives at
Okay.
KPFK.
Yeah.
But he also has a Saturday night radio show that he's had for over 25 years called Travel Tips for Aztlán.
Right.
And of course, for those of you who don't know what Aztlán is the promised land that the Aztecs promised. Aztlán, which we say Los Angeles, California is Aztlán. So he got that from that, and he plays Latin alternative music, and he plays a lot of indie artists. And I tried to have a jazz hour. I really did, Cathy. I really did. It did not take. People want to hear
shocking.
They want to hear Latin alternative, and you know what? They should, because there's not a lot of Latin alternative shows and radio stations. I mean, so KPFK and Travel Tips for Aslan has been doing this since the 90s, and they've featured artists like award-winning artists like Leela Downs, who's my all-time favorite. I love Leela Downs. And a lot of local bands like Quetzal. Do you know Quetzal?
No, I don't.
I have to send you some LA music here. Like,
Yeah,
because
please
you
do.
were saying yesterday, you were telling your guest that there are different pockets in LA, like different communities of music, and there are, and I feel like I'm touching quite a few of them right now, and the one that I am currently, I guess, considered would be Latin alternative.
Yeah.
And you were asking how I met Mark. Well, I think Mark heard about me because, again, Terrence was really good at promoting his artists, and he would put all his artists, Gina Zaputo, Sarah Gazarik at the time, all these wonderful artists, Jamie Shu, and Poncho Sanchez. I remember, like, the first time I played at Steamers, I was like, oh my God, Poncho plays here. And he would do like his monthly calendar. Then he would send it over to, what is it, LAjazz.com?
Yeah. Yep.
So people here would hear about Steamers and different artists. So he had heard my name before. Then he saw me live at Steamers once, so he knew who I was. And then when I wrote Ruby in LA, that was my first time just putting myself out there as a singer-songwriter in English. And it was my first, it was a 13-song EP that we recorded. He heard that song and he chose it as his best of 2016 for that year, because he loved it. He loved it so much. And he invited me to perform on his show, live on his show. And he was managing another artist at the time, but I went and I connected with him, and he's a really, really funny and very interesting dude. And then when he stopped managing the artist he was managing, he went to one of my shows. I think I played at the Constellation Room or something. And I had my jazzy band playing my pop songs. And it was like 3 chords. It was awesome. And I think Peter Buck was on the gig. Hi, Peter. And he saw me and he said, hey, you know what? I don't have an artist right now. If you need help pushing your music, I loved Ruby in LA, so I'm super interested in doing that. And I was like, yes, I wanted to get into the LA scene, and I wanted to get into the singer-songwriter Latinx LA scene specifically. And Mark is the perfect person for that because he knows everybody in this scene. Yeah. And we signed in like late 2016, and then I wrote American Novio. American Novio again means American boyfriend. I was going through some stuff. And then he helped me put out that first album, which got onto NPR Best of and NPR Latin Alt Best of, and it got a couple placements, and yeah, and we've been working together ever since. He's my music manager / latte buddy. We will literally call each other at 3 p.m, emergency latte. We'll go get a latte somewhere.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. So what do you plan on doing now and next?
I've had to say no to a couple of things this week because I'm a little over my head right now, because I am doing a couple projects, and one is a mariachi project that I hope to be able to talk more about as it develops. But I had to write this down because I can remember. I was awarded a grant by the East Side Arts Initiative to do this project. So I'm actually going to be moving to Mexico for a few months in April to do some recording there. So that's what I'm working towards. Mm-hmm. Cool. And I'm really, really excited because I mean, I go to Mexico all the time, but I don't stay longer than maybe a month. So
Yeah.
I think I might be there for 3 to
Part
4
of
months.
Mexico.
I'm going to be in Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
And which is like 2 hours away from the Sanchez's. The Sanchez family lives in Toluca. So I'll
Okay.
be really close. I'm not going to visit too much because they're very, very, very religious. They go to church every day. And I'm going to be doing that. What else am I doing? And I have so many songs that I've written that are just kind of waiting their turn. But I wish I could split myself in many Nancys and do many projects, because then I can have my jazz project, my mariachi project, my pop project, my this.
I have a question, so I want to get clear. So you're going to Mexico, and so what will you be doing actually for 3 months? Are you writing, or are you recording, or researching?
I'm going to be doing a little bit of everything. I'm definitely going to be researching for this project. I'm
Yeah.
doing a project to honor where I'm from, and not Mexico, but Toluca. And I'm also going to be getting the musicians together and getting the arrangements together, because I've written songs for this project already.
Okay.
And I'm also just kind of wanting to be there. If I'm doing a project on Mexico, I want to live in Mexico. And I've actually have not lived in Mexico, like I said, more than a month, maybe, as an adult. And
Yeah.
I want to experience Mexico as an adult. And I'm really, really, really excited about it. So that's mostly what I'm doing there.
Cool. It's pretty exciting. I haven't spent hardly any time in Mexico. I've been to South America, but not Mexico. And yeah,
Well, Cathy, let me know whenever you want. We'll just, take the 5 all the way south. We'll eventually end up in Mexico. Not a nice part of Mexico, but it'll be Mexico.
I have been to Tijuana, which is like,
Okay.
but no, but I mean, yeah, one of my friends, Julie Kelly, she can't remember where she goes to. And I actually have an old friend of the family's who lives in I can't remember where he lives, but it's a very artistic part of Mexico. I wonder if I can even
San Miguel de Allende, probably. San Miguel de Allende. That's
He's
where everybody goes.
He is
They're
Mexican.
artsy. Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. I have to find, I'm curious. Let's see, Jose, do I remember his name? Oh yeah, Jose. Okay, and where are you, Jose? Let's see if I can find out where he lives. Jose, yeah, and okay, and view profile, and he was actually, believe it or not, strangely true, he lived in my hometown in Boston, and I don't know if it says where he lives now. He's from Cuernavaca,
Cuernavaca,
Morelos.
yeah.
But
That's close to Mexico City. It's pretty close. Yeah, that's where, like, I have friends in Mexico City who go to Cuernavaca if they want to go on vacation. Like, it's pretty laid back town. If they want to.
Yeah. Is it kind of an artistic town?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe he does live there. Yeah. I mean, I keep threatening to go there, and so my husband doesn't really want to travel into Mexico because when he was younger, he had, it was the 70s and he had a real weird experience.
Oh.
And so it turned him off to traveling there. For me, I mean, I like to travel everywhere, so, but I mean, gosh, it's close and I love the Mexican culture and I'd like to go.
I mean, you have to know where you're going because, there's some sketchy parts.
Yeah.
I mean, Mexico is very, very rich, but at the same time, very, very poor.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that. Um, I could, I can tell you where you should go. If you go to Mexico City, there's so much jazz over there. I mean, there's El Cinco Jazz Club. Um, um, when I go, I have a lady who has a small little intimate cafe, and she serves delicious homemade food, and she loves jazz, and she has a jazz night, and it's called Perfida Cafe. I've performed there a couple times. You know who I've performed there with? Jose Gurria. Do you know who Jose Gurria is?
No, Guria. No.
He has a band called Gurri Sonic.
Uh-huh.
He's a USC guy
Oh,
who went to Berkeley and then got his doctorate or master's at USC. And I met him a long time ago. We kept connected. We stayed in touch because when we met each other, he's like, "You're Mexican?" And I said, "Yes." And he's like, "And you're doing jazz?" And I said, "Yes." And he's like, "Me too." And like, we just like bonded. And he ended up, when he graduated, he ended up going back to Mexico City, and he
Oh.
teaches over there.
Oh,
And he told me, like, whenever you're in Mexico, I'll help you put a band together.
that's so
So
cool.
that is amazing. And so I played there, I think in like 2018, 2017 maybe, for the first time. And my Mexican family from Toluca, who has never seen me sing ever, went to Mexico City to see me perform, and they were able to see me there. And
Oh,
it was
wow.
so sweet.
Wow.
But there's a pretty heavy music jazz scene over there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget where Julie Kelly goes. It's a smaller town, and she's gone there over a number of years and performed as well. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'd like to do before I get too old. But I'm kind of hesitant to travel too much, especially
Yeah.
internationally right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Japan since 2019, which makes me sad, but and I'd like to go back to Europe because I haven't been there in a long, long, long time. Um, so yeah. But okay, so that sounds awesome. I'm going to keep track of you there, and I'll really be interested to know what you're doing there, and how it's
Yes.
developing. Sounds very
Sounds
exciting.
good. Thank
Um,
you.
Thanks for being on, Nance.
I cannot believe I have spoken for 2 hours.
I know. People say that.
I was not gonna lie, I was a little nervous
Yeah.
because I was like, what are we gonna talk about for 2 hours? All right, I'm just gonna do it. It's amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
You
gonna go
are so
celebrate now.
okay. I'll have a shot of tequila on you.
All right.
Yeah, it's been lovely. I mean, I knew it was going to be lovely, and I really wanted to kind of bring you to light, on in this platform, and I'm so glad it worked out. And I'm even more impressed with who you are than I was before, which I just thought you were the greatest thing. But now I understand why I thought you were the greatest thing, because who you are soaks through and blossoms out, like
Thank you
like
so
your video
much. Like,
blossoms. See, there's a reason why those blossoms are in the video.
thank you so much, Cathy. And it's an honor because not only are you incredible and amazing, and you are who I strive to be. You're just such a social butterfly. You know everybody, but and you get so many amazing artists. Like this is my 12 o'clock masterclass. Really,
cool.
I learned so much, and you're gonna have Josh Nelson tomorrow, and that's incredible. So it's good to open up for Josh Nelson a day before.
Actually, tomorrow is Lindley Hamilton, who's from Ireland, and he's a trumpet player and he's a broadcaster.
Oh, okay.
So that should be interesting, probably, for you. And then my archives. The Josh is a Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Friday is Larry Kuntz and Otmara Ruiz. And Saturday is Mark Winkler, writer, lyricist, singer. And Sunday, Michelle Weir.
Oh my God. I have like 5 books of hers.
I know she's awesome. She's a really dear friend, and she's also a really awesome person. She has great intentions, and she follows through with business to really, and her intent is to really share. And yeah, she's a really good person too.
Amazing. Well, thank you
So
so much.
you're welcome. And I think that we, I should hold it over here. See? Well, oh, looks very familiar. So these are, I'm just getting these ideas here around this. So it'll be blossoming. But one thing I wanted to do, which I think we successfully kind of brought this in, these are little stickers, guys and girls, that I'm going to be selling. And they have each a saying, and this one says, "Art is the tie that unites the planet." So I think we successfully talked about that today.
Yes,
So
we
thank you for helping me blossom blossom
Of
that out.
course.
You blossom. I'm going to call you Blossom from now on. What's the Spanish word for blossom?
Girasol. Wait, girasol, a blossom. We're gonna have to Google this. Let's Google this real quick because they're gonna take my Mexican card away from me. Let's see.
Roland wants to know if you're performing live.
Yes, it's called florecer, to blossom, florecer.
Florecer at T at the end?
Ser with an R at
Oh,
the end.
florecer.
Yeah. With my music, I don't have plans because I am so preparing for this Mexico City trip. But Roland, we didn't talk about this. There's another life. There's another side to my life, and that's the mariachi side. I'm part of a mariachi, an all-female mariachi group called Las Colibri. I'm their guitarist. Oh, I need water, sorry. My neighbor is cutting his grass. I don't know why at this hour. But I'm part of an all-female mariachi group called Las Colibri. Colibri means hummingbird.
Oh.
I play guitar with them, and I perform every weekend, and I perform all over the place.
Oh, so how do people find that?
You can, sometimes I do post it on my Instagram, so you can find me on Instagram or Facebook. You can also follow Las Colibri as well. But we do a lot of shows and a lot of private shows too.
Yeah.
I can't think right off the top of my head right now what is coming up that is free for everybody, but I will post it as soon as I know.
Okay, cool. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, Nance.
Thank you, Cathy. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you
for coming.
Too.
Everyone go to nancysanchezmusic.com.
That's right.
Spotify.
Do it.
Spotify me.
Spotify me. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Bye.